Hi, hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Microwave Kicks. Yes, Chelsea are moving crazy on the market, right? And there are so many players actually linked with Chelsea. As we also as it's going down, I'm bringing it to you. I'm giving it to you immediately as I'm getting the report concerning every transfer Chelsea is actually making on the market right now. Now, concerning the Lacroix deal, I dropped a video earlier. You can quickly go check that out. You know, how I broke down the qualities of Lacroix, what he was going to bring to Chelsea, what do Chelsea fans have to expect from Lacroix, and the kind of player he is, the history and all of that. So I actually broke that down in the previous video. So do well to check that out, you know, maybe after this video as well. So what's going on with the Palestra deal? Remember, Chelsea had an agreement to sign Palestra from Atlanta for a fee up to 55 million euros and all of that. So that deal would happen. That deal is happening and is good as done. In fact, consider him as a Chelsea player. So we're going to take some tweets and also see what's the latest concerning every Chelsea transfer story at this point. Now, from that very first Palestra deal, now according to Fabrizio, he says, Marco Palestra, I'm happy to join Chelsea. According to what Palestra said, I'm happy to join Chelsea and I'm so happy for this new chapter. Medical booked tomorrow. Obviously, the deal is actually good as done, and he will be a Chelsea player, soon. So there was a picture that actually circulated earlier on where he was on his flight down to London, and also a video of him being at the airport when he arrived. So obviously that deal is done. Let's see another tweet concerning that, because we had so many topics to actually touch today, and I had to do that quickly because of time. So this video will not get too long. Now, according to Fabrizio again, he said Marco Palestra will undergo medical in London on Friday, right, as a new Chelsea player, traveling to England to seal the move from Atlanta, as Palestra will sign contract until 2032 with an option until 2033. So that's a 6-year deal with an option to make it a 7-year deal. To make it a 7-year deal. So this is a very, very good acquisition for Chelsea. Regardless, I've actually spoken about Palestra. I made 2 videos about him, so you can do well to as well check that out, so that we don't spend too much time on this particular topic. But all the same, this is a Marcos Alonso or Xavi Alonso signing, and it's a very good one for him. Now let's move quickly because there's no time. Now, based on the fact that Alonso has moved to Chelsea, and right now Real Madrid are interested in signing Enzo Fernandez. So earlier today, I made a quick short video concerning what Cucurella said about Enzo Fernandez, saying he is expecting him at Real Madrid, and both of them were happy, at Chelsea, and he will have so much happier if Enzo Fernandez moves to Chelsea, and so on and so forth. Marco Cucurella, for whatever reason you move to Real Madrid, which is majorly most players' dream, aims, and ambition, I think Cucurella should respect Chelsea. I think what he's doing is just doing overboard right now. I think that particular one is a huge disrespect to Chelsea, because you've made your move. You're no more a Chelsea player. So why try to sell another Chelsea player when there's an ongoing conversation, that might literally lead to an agreement and in a later phase concerning the fact that Enzo Fernandez, based on the fact that he is your friend, should join you there. So to me, I don't think Cucurella should continue in this part. I think he's trying to disrespect Chelsea at all front, and I don't think that's best, currently. Let me know what you think concerning that. Now, what I was saying earlier on is Chelsea, based on the fact that Real Madrid are interested in Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea might as well get an opportunity to sign another talented player from Real Madrid, right? So who am I talking about? Now let's take this tweet from Fabrizio. Now Fabrizio said, no, from Ramon. From Ramon, he said, breaking, Real Madrid are activating their 10 million buyback clause for Nico Paz, according to Ramon. Real Madrid are activating a 10 million buyback clause. Now, let's move further. He said, after bringing him back, Real Madrid will offer Como the chance to sign him permanently for 60 million euros. while keeping a new buyback clause worth around 80 million euros. If Como refused to pay the 60 million, Real Madrid will put him on the market for even a higher fee with no future buyback clause. Several clubs, including Premier League sides and Inter, were said to be monitoring the situation. What should Nico Paz do? Wow. Okay, what do you think Nico Paz should do in this situation? Because right now it's like putting Nico Paz and Como in a box and hoping they figure themselves out. If anything works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, then the both parties actually move on. Now let's read another tweet before I actually dissect and talk about this particular story, because this is a very interesting story that is actually coming out from Real Madrid's camp concerning the future of Nico Paz. Now let's move to what Fabrizio has to say about it. He said, Como would receive 10 million euros from Real Madrid if they do not resign Nico Paz on a permanent deal by Monday. Real Madrid wants 60 million from Como, or they would seek slightly more than 60 million from Inter or a Premier League team or Premier League club's king. Now, one more, few more tweets, then I'll break this down. Now, that same from Fabrizio, he said the same thing. He said the same thing I just said. He said that on his YouTube video. Now, one more tweet from Dimasio. So that's to tell you that this is a very, very concrete story. Now, he said Real Madrid wants more than 70 million for Nico Paz. 70 million euros for Nico Paz. So let me link these stories together because it's one story. Now for Nico Paz, this is what happened. Let me give you a backstory about what happened for this Nico Paz deal. In 2024, Como just came to the Serie A, and they want to start signing young stars and young players, exciting young talents, the exciting young projects of Sex Fabregas and all of that. So they went to the Real Madrid Academy, they got Nico Paz, Jacobo, Ramon, into the Como team. Now, Nico Paz blew up, exploded, scores goals, makes assists, and his value actually increased. Now, before he kicked his first ball for Como, there was a buyback clause in that particular deal. So it was not a loan move initially. There was a buyback clause. He was sold to Real Madrid for 6 million. Now, Real Madrid put in a buyback clause for the next year, which is 2025, to buy him back for 8 million, for 7 million. Then in 2026 for 8 million. In 2027 for 10 million. For 9 million rather. Now, at this point, Como hands are tied at this point. Now, Real Madrid is still in control of the player technically, despite the fact that they've already sold him. Now, Real Madrid has now activated because he is getting a lot of interest from so many clubs, Inter Milan, Premier League clubs, and all of that. Right. So at this point, Real Madrid has now activated that buyback clause of 8 million pounds, I should say, but everything round up to 10 million euros. Now, Real Madrid are now giving Como till Monday, 3 days, to actually sign Nico Paz permanently for 60 million and still inserting a buyback clause of 80 million in this deal. Or they will sell him to Inter Milan for a slightly higher fee and to Premier League clubs if they want him for more money. Now, to Real Madrid, I think this is unfair. I know you have the player, you control your player, it's your player. I understand that fact. But I think it is too quick for a club like Como. Where do Comos have 60 million to spend on Nico Paz? He has been the best player at the club. But where do you expect a team like Como to get that amount of money? Now, Inter Milan is also interested. Anything that will make that money go beyond that 60 million mark, I think Inter Milan, anything that will make it go beyond that mark, it has to be Premier League clubs. Now, this is where Chelsea will actually, benefit from this deal. Chelsea, at some point, were taking a look at Nico Paz. Now, for Enzo Fernandez, who wants to move to Real Madrid, it is just easy. Chelsea buys, Nico Paz, or Chelsea sell Enzo Fernandez, use the same money to buy Nico Paz. I think Nico Paz will actually do well at Chelsea and he will fit in the structure of what Alonso actually wants to do because he's a very talented player and has an eye for goal. He makes assists and he gives his inputs in the team. So anything because of FFP rule and all of that, I think this will be a very good deal. This is where I think it will actually favor Chelsea. And at the end of the day, if you take a look at it, will Inter Milan be willing to pay that amount of money? At this point, I don't think Como has that kind of money to spend on one player. So I think it will just favor Chelsea at the end of the day if Chelsea goes in and buys Nico Paz, from Como. And Chelsea also has a good relationship with Como and Real Madrid because for Como, they are also interested in signing Chaloba from Chelsea as well. So I think this is a win-win situation for everybody, right? Como buys Chaloba from Chelsea. Chelsea buys Nico Paz from Real Madrid. Real Madrid buys Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. It's a merry-go-round, so everybody wins at the end of the day. But let me know what you think. Do you think Chelsea should sign Nico Paz? And what do you think about the whole situation, with Real Madrid and Nico Paz and Como? Let me know what you think about that and, share your thoughts in the comment section. Now, what's going on with Lacroix? Because I've talked about Lacroix in my previous video, but now let's just see quickly what's going on, with Lacroix. Now, for Lacroix, according to Fabrizio, he says contacts are continuing between Chelsea and the people involved from Maxence Lacroix. Chelsea are not only on him, they might sign two based on outgoings. Chaloba has interest. So at this point, they are still talking. It's getting close at this point. And he might not be the only player or the only center back Chelsea might be willing to sign. Chelsea might still go into the market and sign yet another center back. And I love what Alonso is trying to do, starting from the foundation, starting from that particular protective part of that defense. So you get the defense sorted before you move into midfield, and at the end of the day, before the transfer window closes, you move into attack. So I think the Lacroix deal is still going to happen. It's not easy to do a business with Crystal Palace. Remember how the Iberichi Eze deal went, the Odise deal went, and all of that. The Magay deal went with Liverpool that he didn't sign that summer. They had to wait after 6 months to just relax. Chelsea is not going to wait after 6 months. Chelsea is going to get this deal done. And I think in the next couple of days, I think this is going to be over with. I think Chelsea is going to get this deal done. And concerning who might also be players that will be sold at Chelsea, because it's not only Lacroix that will be coming in. Chelsea are also going to sign other players now. Who am I talking about now? According to Ben Jacobs, he said Chelsea are going to be very busy and there could be a flurry of business as they look to find system fit for Alonso. Chelsea are very happy with ball playing centre back options and are looking for a co partner at the moment. No bid for Lacroix, but an inquiry. Chelsea are looking for a creative-minded attacker and could look at a centre mid option if Enzo leaves. Chelsea still waiting for Real Madrid to formally contact them, and Enzo hasn't agreed personal term yet, and a bit premature. Let me start with the last one. Enzo Fernandez, to me, will go. I think he's going to leave Chelsea. He's going to go to Real Madrid. It's looking like it's going to happen, and I don't expect it to happen until after the World Cup. So that's one for a fact. Secondly, they say, according to him, he said Chelsea needs a creative-minded attacker. So obviously, I'm thinking it's going to come from the wings, because right now the wing options we have is not as good as we think, right? So I think that will also come from that part. Then for defender, apart from an option, for Levi Colwill and Lacroix, Chelsea still needs another centre back as well. So Chelsea needs two centre back at this point, and players also will leave. So if there are players coming in, other players will also leave. Now, who is going to leave and who are we talking about? Number one is Chaloba. Chaloba, there was a speculation concerning him having interest from Como, from Italy. So at the end of the day, that deal might happen. Another player that might actually be on the move is this player. Now, according to Ben Jacobs, he said, Benos Badashile, I really find interesting, because if the right offer came in, I personally think Chelsea would entertain it. Yet, for months and months, every time I've asked about Badashile, is always the one Chelsea sources say his development is on track. His development is on track, but he has failed to develop over the years. He has not really given Chelsea fans something to smile about over the years. So I think for Badashile, it's time to make that move. It's time to just go. There are clubs in France, there are clubs in Italy that would want his service. Is injury prone, is not always available. Whenever he comes back, it doesn't give that confident performance, at Chelsea. So I think Chelsea has actually moved past that level of waiting for a player of his caliber to actually develop and get into the rhythm and get into that kind of presence of defender that we want him to. So I think it's time for Badashili, to actually make the move on. Who else is Chelsea going to sell at the end of the day? Because in that tweet, it said two defenders would actually come in. So definitely we're expecting two defenders to leave. A midfielder, so if Enzo Fernandez leave, he would be replaced, obviously. Than an attacker, because that's probably a winger, because Chelsea has five strikers right now and two might actually leave, or three. So now from the wings, according to Ben Jacobs, he said Chelsea still have strong belief in both Garnacho and Gittins despite speculation. And one more tweet, he said there remains faith in Garnacho and Jamie Gittins at Chelsea. So what is this? What I think with this tweet is just I'm not trying to paint them bad in the media in order to attract, buyers, in order to attract, clubs that would actually want to pay a premium for them, despite the fact that both of them did not have a good season. If I should pick one of these players to leave, I think I'm going to pick Garnacho to go, because he had virtually the whole season to impress and he didn't impress. For Jimmy Gittins, they were injured, at some number of time, some period, of months that this previous season. And to me, I think he should be given another chance. But for Garnacho, I think it's just time for him, to make that move. Who else is going to make a move at Chelsea? And this is also from Ben Jacobs. They said on Liam Delap, Everton and Newcastle are both really keen on the player, and there's some interest from Serie A. Perfect move. I think this is a player that should not be putting on the Chelsea jersey next season. With the level of how he performed, 2 goals the whole season as a striker who got numerous playing time at the club, I don't think it is best for him to stay back. Meaningfully, whether Emega is coming back, Nicholas Jackson is coming. So I think it is best for him to move. If it's going to be Serie A, Como, Inter, AC Milan, Juventus, whichever club wants to sign the lab, I think Chelsea should just cash in on him at this point. While for Newcastle and Everton, fine. Those teams, I think those teams will require a loan move. But to me, I think Chelsea should do everything to sell him permanently and let him go. But let me know what you think concerning all of this news, and also share your thoughts in the comment section. Do you want the lab to leave? Do you want him to stay? I think that's a very funny question. But also in the terms of Garnacho and Gittins, who in particular do you want, Chelsea should sell at the end of the day? And for Lacroix, keep your mind and keep your fingers crossed, as with time he's going to come through and the deal is going to get done. But let me know what you think concerning all of this story, and share your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Come away again next time. I remain your boy Mike. Stay cool. Cheers.